How do we restore Eden in our homes
and
become real men, priests in our homes? Number one, you lead the prayers. Number two, you make sure the Bible is your reference when you are taking decisions. Don't take decisions based on what people tell you or what the culture tells you. A man after God uses the Bible as his reference. Make sure every decision you take is in line with the Bible. I've read this book more than 40 times. But when I became a Christian, God made it clear to me. He said, if you walk according to this book, my favor will be upon you. And I can tell you something. When God says this is true, for me it's true. Even when the whole world says it's wrong, I prefer to be one with God rather than to be with the mass against God. I started on the day I accepted Jesus. Some months after, I read this passage in the Bible, and it told me, honor God with your wealth, and you will be blessed. So I started with Genesis up to Revelation. I found it was consistent. And I started tithing my salary. By then I was still Roman Catholic. I remember that time I took 2,500 francs. And I went to see the priest. I told him, Father, I'm bringing you a tithe. He said, what is that? It's a tithe. Where did you learn that? I read it from the Bible. He said, no.
We only know the offering that is given to the church. We also know the offering for the Christian. We do not know about tithe.
I said, fine. God told me to give a tithe. So I will be giving it despite the priest. Padri, I put the money in the box. Because every Sunday they had that small box going around. That has become my culture. Honor God with your wealth. In your home. Because you are a priest. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I know some people are not happy about that. But that's a man pursuing God. I remember in the book of Nehemiah, in chapter 4, verse 14, Nehemiah was talking to men. And he said, let's stand up like men and defend our wives and our children. I like that. Because a man is a protector. When I was growing up, it was in the traditional kind of context. So before going into the bed, we didn't have beds like these beds they do.
Yes.
How many people know Rutara? So before you go into Rutara,
before you go into the bed,
there was a place where they put the arms, the weapons.
haraho bashiraga intwaro zabo zibarinda amacumu n'inkoni n'ibindi.
There was a spear,
hari icumu,
bows and arrows,
hari imyambi,
and a very strong stick, inkoni rwose nziza y'ishyimbo.
inkoni nziza.
And you knew that when a man was sleeping on his bed,
abagubizi yuko uyu mugabo aryamye ku buriri bwe,
if something moved outside,
niba hari ikintu mwumva kigenda
he will
hanze,
take out his stick
yajya gufata inkoni ye
and his spear
afata icumu rye
and stand in the door.
ahagarare mu muryango.
This is a man.
uyu ni umugabo.
But if you are going to be a man,
niba ushaka kuba
called to love the people around you,
ariko unahamagarirwa kugira ngo ukunde abantu,
you serve out of love.
ugakora ibyo ukora biturutse mu rukundo.
I learned this lesson when I was a teacher. I'm finishing.
yari kiri umwarimu,
And God told me, if you are going to be, because I was saying, God, how can I be a teacher according to you?
nabajije Imana ni naba ne umwarimu uko ubishaka.
And God said, imagine if Jesus was a teacher.
yambwira iti tekereze iyo Yesu aba mwarimu.
What would be his first characteristic?
ni iki cya mbere cyakabaye kimuranga?
Service by love.
gukora akorana urukundo.
So love your students.
kunda abanyeshuri bawe.
And I can tell you,
kandi nababwira,
when I meet students I taught at the university or in secondary school,
iyo mpuye n'abanyeshuri nigishe kuri kaminuza cyangwa muri mashuri yisumbuye,
the major thing they remember
ikintu cy'ingenzi bibuka
is the service I gave them.
bibuka service nabahaye.
They don't remember, some of them don't even remember the classes I taught.
bamwe ntibibuka n'amasomo nabigishije.
Some of them remember the testimony that changed their lives.
bibuka ubuhamya bwahinduye ubuzima bwabo.
Others remember how I took care of them when they were in need.
abandi bakibuka uburyo nabitayeho igihe bari babikeneye.
Let me tell you one story and I'm finished.
reka babwire inkuru imwe nsoze.
I had one student.
nari mfite umunyeshuri.
He was a relative to the former president, Habyarimana.
yari mwene wabo Habyarimana.
And he had connections.
yaraziranye n'abantu bakomeye.
And he came to me and said, you know, Professor,
prof,
I was supposed to supervise him when writing his memoir.
nagombaga igihe yandikaga igitabo n'igihe wagombaga kuba mukurikirana nkosora n'ibindi.
And he chose me because they knew I was very patient with my students.
kandi niwe wampisemo kuko bari babizi yuko nari umuntu wihanganira abanyeshuri banjye.
But I was also very strict to push them to get to the best.
ariko nanone nubwo nabihanganiraga nabahatirizaga cyane kugira ngo bakore neza.
What he liked most about me
icyo yankundiye cyane
was the patience.
yakunze kwihangana kwawe.
But he didn't like the seriousness.
ariko niyakundaga noneho rwa rundi ruhande rwo gushaka ngo ibyo bakora byose babikore neza.
So he made sure to remind me who he was.
rero kenshi akanyibutsa uwo ari we. uzi icyo ndi cyo.
Told me, you know, I've already got a job.
ati nabonye akazi.
What I need is just that paper.
icyo nshaka niyo certificate.
I looked at him
ndamureba
and I told him,
ndamubaza,
you know, your character and mine can't work together.
ni uko uteye n'ibitekerezo byawe ntabwo byakorana.
Because I can't supervise a student who is not ready to work to the best.
kuko sinakurikirana umunyeshuri utiteguye kugira ngo akore neza ibintu bye bikore neza.
So go back to the department
subirayo muri department
and tell them I refused to supervise you.
ubabwire ngo nanze kuba ari gihe mwarimu gukurikirana.
That shocked him.
biramutangaza cyane.
He said, but I want you to supervise me.
arambwira ati ariko ndashaka yuko aba ari wowe umurikirana.
I told him,
ndamubwira
on one condition.
niba ushaka ko ngusupervisinga ni ikintu kimwe tugomba kwemeranya.
I will never put my name on a mediocre memoir.
sinzigera nshyira izina ryanjye ngo nige wanyuze muri ibi wakoze bidasobanutse.
So if you are ready to work for the best, I will supervise you.
niba witeguye kugira ngo ukore byiza rwose nzagukurikirana nshyiraho n'izina ryanjye.
He accepted.
aremera.
Supervised him.
ndamukurikirana.
What a very good grade actually. He wasn't a bad student, he was simply spoiled.
korana neza ntabwo ari umunyeshuri mubi ahubwo gusa yari yarangijwe no kumenya ngo arakomoka ahantu hakomeye n'ibindi.
Then when he finished,
ashoje
I told him,
ndamubwira,
I'm going to give you a life lesson. A life lesson. Don't trust the influence of your friends. I pushed you to work hard because this is what will take you further than that influence. Because the limit of that influence is just the boundaries of this country. But the day you move out, what will serve you is what I taught you when I was pushing you to work hard. Then he went. Then came 1994. Finished. He is now living somewhere in Austria. Autriche. So one time I was in Brussels. He learned I was there. He took the train. Came all the way to see me. He said thank you. That lesson you taught me, the day those guys lost their influence, I remembered what you told me. And working hard is what is sustaining me where I am now. So people will remember the love you give them. I could go on and on giving you examples. So men after God, learn to be responsible. So everything you work at, give the best of yourself as if you are serving God. Number 2, love. Love is our motivator. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Number 3, when you are married or not married, you are a priest. Bring Eden back into your life. Then finally, be a protector, an educator of your children, a provider for your family, and for a protector. May the Lord bless you.